Hey everybody. Let me see. What time is it? 6:33. Perfect. We are golden. Martha Krejci here. If you have not been here before, make sure that you hit subscribe and then also hit the bell for notifications so you find out when all of the awesome comes out online. Okay. So also we're going to take questions. So if you have any questions, make sure you go ahead and ask them, and then I can field your questions at the end, okay? So tonight we are talking about how to overcome fear. I get this question all the time, and I think that it's because people might look at me. It seems like people might look at me and think like that I just don't have fear. You guys, I have fear. I feel it just like anybody else. I feel it, but I'm going to tell you what I do with it. Okay. So, how many people, how many of you have had situations where you wanted to do this thing, right? And then you had fear creep up, and then whenever the fear creeps up, it kind of paralyzes you a little bit. So you kind of get shaken out of like you were going to do this thing, the fear came up, you got shaken out of your path a little bit to think that you were just going to go back in that path as soon as the fear subsided, right? Like as soon as you felt that confidence again, you were going to get back into that path, right? That's what Caitlin all. um, it's pretty much, I think everybody is that way, right? All the time. Yeah. That's pretty much how people are, because we think like, okay, there's this thing that I want to do. You guys, as soon as you commit, as soon as you put your flag in the ground and you say, I am doing this thing, all of the fear is going to come in. All of these things that your ego actually is creating, or other things are creating and putting in your path and trying to keep you, whenever your ego starts to come into the game, its whole job, you guys, its whole primal job was to keep us safe, right? So don't step out onto that ledge, because that's not safe. You can't do that. That's not safe, right? We need to keep you safe, and we need to keep you secure, and we need to keep you small, right? Because we know what that's like. That's the ego talking to you. We know what this is like. Whether we like our life as it is right now or not, we know what this feels like. We know what to expect here. If we step out onto this ledge, we don't know what to expect there, right? Even if it's stepping out onto a ledge of massive success, of everything you have ever dreamed of, your ego is going to be like, I don't know what that's like. That's scary. We shouldn't do that. Let's stay small. Let's stay small, right? Like I can't, it's everything I've ever dreamed of. And you have this like fight, you have this argument with your ego, which your ego will always win, by the way, unless you do what I'm going to tell you to do here in a minute. It's always going to win because it's primal. It's the safety net. It's the safety factor. It's what keeps you alive, right? Like that's like the primal nature of the ego, is to keep you alive, and keep you in safe situations to stay alive, right? So whenever you start doing those things, every honking time, you guys, every honking time, this happens with weight loss, right? It happens with weight loss. It happens with maybe change of career. It happens with maybe you want to move to another city. Maybe you want to upgrade your life in one way or another. It does not matter if it is a change in any way. Your ego is going to be like, nope, we know what this is like. I know what this is like, right? I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to stay secure. I don't want you to do that. So all of these fears are going to start coming up. Okay. Now, what do you do with fear? That's the question. What do you do with fear? Because if you were to just feel it and let it deter you from this course that you want to take, like the course of action that you want to take, if you let it deter you for one day, because most people are like, okay, well, I'm scared right now, but I'll get that confidence back. Because the reason that you decided to do this thing that was an upgrade to your life in some way, the reason you decided to do that thing, because you were in an emotional state. You were in a state of saying yes. Your emotions backed up what you wanted to do as a person. You were in the emotional state of saying yes. And that is when you got derailed into fear. So what you're thinking is that, okay, all I have to do is get back into that emotional state. You're not thinking emotional state. All I have to do is get back into confidence, is probably what you're calling it, right? All I have to do is get back into confidence. But here's what really happens. And tell me if I'm wrong. Also, tell me if I'm right. Here's what really happens. You get sidetracked for one day in fear. And you're like, I'm going to get back on track, right? Maybe it was a diet. And then one day you're like, oh, I'm just going to do this thing, right? Because again, ego, getting back into a safe place. Your safe place was, if whatever your beginning weight was on your diet, that was stasis for your body. That was your safe place. Your body's going to try to keep stasis. It will try to keep that original weight that you started at. You guys, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. Okay. So yeah, you take one day. And then the fear, you sit in the fear for one day, and then there's another day, and then another day. And what happens with the fear? As time goes on, what happens with the fear? It gets massive, right? Maybe you put something off. Maybe you had this one thing you were supposed to do. Maybe there was this one speed bump that you had to get over in order to get that job, right? Maybe you had to have your resume to this place by Friday afternoon. Well, you probably self-sabotaged yourself to do it the night before or something like that. And then like your internet goes out or something, right? And then what you do every day that you put off that thing that you want to do, every day that you let fear fuel what you're doing, your fear gets exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger. Mountain out of a molehill, you guys. The actual fear is probably like this. You give it a week, a month, 3 months, and all of a sudden it's something that is unpassable, right? Like it's something that you can't even get over. Am I right? So that is what happens. So let's reverse engineer that. That's what I like to do, is reverse engineer things, you guys. Let's reverse engineer that. So what should we do in order for that not to happen? Some of you already know what I'm going to say. What you do in order for that not to happen, you guys, you feel the fear, you honor it. Okay, cool. I appreciate what you're doing here. I smell what you're stepping in. I get what's going on here. I appreciate the need to keep me small. If you have to talk to your ego, you do whatever. If you don't have to talk to yourself, that's fine too. But what you do is you honor the fear, feel it. It's all good. And then you put it in a shoebox and stuff it under the bed where it belongs. You guys, if you do not let fear take you out day after day after day, that very first moment that you feel fear, you feel it and you release it. Feel it and release it. Feel it and release it. Here's the deal. Whenever I feel fear come into anything, and I feel it on a daily basis. It's not like you get to a certain point and all of a sudden you're not scared of anything. I feel fear on a daily basis. It's just different fear. Now my fear is for other people. My fear is no longer really for myself, but my fear is for other people. My fear is, are they going to get it? Are they going to be able to do it? Are they going to believe in themselves enough to do this thing? That is where my fear comes in these days. But the minute I feel it, I release it and I continue with what I committed to do. That's the thing. Your commitment has to be stronger than your fear. What you have committed to, your mission, your why, what the heck are you doing, and why do you want to do it? That has to be stronger than your fear. So whenever you feel the fear, you can release it, chuck it, okay? Chuck it as far away as you can get it from you. Just feel it, boom, done. I'm committed to this. I feel you, fear. I hear you, done. The longer it sticks with you, the stronger it gets and the more it will derail you from your success of your goal that you wanted to hit. I don't care what that goal is. Doesn't matter. Okay? That is how you get rid of fear, you guys. You literally feel it and chuck it, feel it and chuck it almost immediately because you're so committed to your goal. Now, on the other hand, if you're not committed to your goal or you don't have a good why about why you're doing this goal in the first place or why it matters to you in the first place, it's going to be hard to chuck a fear because you don't have that commitment really in place. So the very first thing you do, you guys, is whenever you are committing to something or this thing is going to up level your life, you look at it, you commit to it, and then you get your why together. Okay, what's this going to change in my life? How is this going to change other people's lives around me? That is more of a commitment to me personally than anything else. How is it going to change other people's lives is almost more important than what it's going to do to my own life. That's just that it drives me more. I don't know if it's that way for other people, but it is for me. So what are you committing to? Get a good why. Drill down, drill down, drill down. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You guys, it should bring you to tears. And then whenever you feel fear come in, no, I got no time for fear because my goal is this. I got no time for this fear. My goal is this. Okay? That's it. It's not rocket science. Nothing that I ever tell you is rocket science, but it's stuff that works for me and it's easy to implement, right? It's just we don't think about it. We go through our days and we kind of get like batted around by the waves and we just, we react instead of actually being proactive in our lives. That's the difference between somebody who's going to be successful in their goals and somebody who's not. Are you reacting to stimuli around you? Are you reacting to people saying things to you and yada, yada? Or are you saying, hey, this is my life. This is what I'm going to be doing. You can do it too if you want. That's cool, whatever. Or, whatever. And then whenever fear comes in, nope, no time for you. Ain't nobody got no time for that. And there were too many no's in there, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. Okay, cool. Let's talk about questions. What questions do we have? So Katie said all the time, and I get that. Sandy, me, that was you too. Rachel, exactly. Sandy, right. Katie Lynn, so true. You get comfortable in staying in fear. 100% yes. Katie Lynn Perry, yes, exactly. Mountains out of molehills. That's what happens. And Mike just broke it down to 3 words, which is what Mike does because he is way more eloquent than I am. It takes me a half hour to say what Mike could say in 3 words, literally. Time feeds fear, period, done. It feeds it. The more time that passes, your fear gets bigger. Time feeds fear. Mike, you are so right. I love the feel it and release it. That's going to be my new mantra. Yeah. It's what I live by, you guys. My necklace is all sideways. Is that ever distracting to you guys? It's always sideways. Mike, so just do what you fear immediately. Yeah, run straight into it. Run straight into it, wind in your hair, run straight into the fear and make whatever you're scared of happen. Because the longer that you wait, the more it's going to be fed and become this huge thing. Who has put off, like, let's just get real with it. Who has put off like a term paper? I'm going back to school at this point. Yes, I'm almost 40, but whatever. So who has like put off a term paper forever, right? Like you put it off, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off. And the longer that you're putting it off, the more of like a big deal it's becoming. And then when you actually sit down to write it or to do whatever the thing is that you've put off forever, when you sit down to do it, it takes like minutes. Who has done that? And then you've spent so much time in anxiety and just like, oh, I have this thing I have to do and da, da, da. And then it just like weighs you down. Just do the thing already. Do it. It doesn't even take that long when you do it. Like for the people that are in the Gold Getters group, if you're in Young Living and you're a builder, by the way, you need to be in the Gold Getters group. It's free and it's awesome. Just period. Done. Okay. I'm actually going to put the link in here just in case you guys don't have it. But Dot group. Hang on just a second, you guys. YL Gold Getters. There we go. Whenever you are like for in the Gold Getters group, we do 10 messages a day to people because we reach out to people and we are just saying hi. We're just building relationships with people. But if you let those build up over time and all of a sudden you have to do 70 because you didn't do them for 7 days, that has made a massive problem for you, right? Or if you put it off until like 10 and you put it off to the end of the day and all day you're like, oh, I have to message 10 people, I have to message 10 people. And it's just like, wait, I have to message 10 people. You sit down to do it and it takes literally 5 minutes to do. Do it in the morning so it's done and then you don't even have that stuff to be concerned with. Like just do the thing. What is the thing that you think you need to do? Just do the thing. Just do the thing. Don't even let the fear bother you. Don't even let but what are they going to say and da da da. And then whenever you message them and they message you back like, "Hey, how are things?" Wait, so this is easy? Yes, this is easy. Your brain and your ego and your mind make things so much more difficult than they're actually going to be, you guys. The way we like dissect things but this is going to happen. It's almost like we see algebra in front of our face, right? Like those different memes of like trigonometry and whatever just going in front of people's eyes. That's what we make these human experiences to be. We make them so crazy difficult. But you guys, whenever we sit down and actually do the things and have the interactions, it's not difficult at all. It's not. Like it's so easy. But we in our mind have made it this big deal. Stop it. Stop it and just do the thing. At least just do it once so you know it was easy. And then you can do it again because you know it was easy. But if you keep putting it off and it becomes this big thing that you're just like scared to do at this point, you can't make that easy. Just do it once. Just do it once. Rachel, all the time. So that was you. Katie said yes. Katie, then I tell myself I just work better under pressure. LOL, procrastinator. So I just last week told Mike that I thrive in chaos. And I think that's what you just said as well. So I think that we align perfectly, Katie, because yes, I also have been known to put things off, right? Like I've told you guys, the only things that I talk about in here are things that I have experienced myself. The only things I share are things I've experienced myself. I'm not going to tell you something that I don't actually know. So yes, I am familiar with that feeling also. Paula, I was afraid that I couldn't message 50 in a day, but I did it today. Boom, done. Yes. Look at you. See? That's what it feels like so much. And you're like, oh, there's going to be so much stuff. And then like 50, what did it take? Like a half hour? Maybe 45 minutes? Maybe. But if this is for your business, that's a 45 minutes well spent. You could have spent that 45 minutes on Netflix or just scrolling through social media instead of using social media, right? Kimberly, wow, this is it. This is real talk, y'all. This is real talk. Okay, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to pop out of here. I promised my daughter some snuggle time. We are going to watch a movie and snuggle. And, this is work-life balance, y'all. It can happen. It can be a thing. I'm going to go put on my PJs and snuggle with my baby. Bye-bye, you guys. See you tomorrow.